I'm going to be the face of boxing. Are you now?
I'm definitely face of boxing.
And then Lamont Roach comes into the ring, and listen, regardless, like Lamont Roach came in there and he was confident. And I don't think a lot of people believe that he was going to be able to get it done against Tank. People thought that Tank was going to knock him out.
Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach got into a heated face-off ahead of their rematch. Davis warned Lamont to leave his women and kids at home, claiming he's tired of the trash talk. The tension was high as both fighters exchanged words, showing this rivalry runs deep and personal.
And I promise you, you better lead them home. You better lead the females home. On my mother, you better lead the females home and the kids. On my mother. Yeah, now watch this.
They gonna
now
be
watch.
There. They gonna be
now
there.
watch. Now watch.
What's different from 10 minutes ago when you said that?
You know how when they told you say how like I posed for Lomachenko, right? Mm-hmm. And like how he said like he was retired and things like that. I feel as though like we've been in it so long that we are getting tired of it. Like we've been beating our body up so long, but it be like situations like just now, like when he talking that spark the plug again.
Yeah, that's what all
it takes for you? Is that all it takes?
The matchup between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach is no longer just another entry on their records. It has evolved into a defining moment for both boxers. Davis, long seen as a nearly untouchable power puncher, met unexpected resistance from Roach in their initial clash. The bout forced a reassessment of their skills, with Roach exposing the vulnerabilities that had previously been masked by Davis's dominance. Roach's technical poise and calculated style earned him not only respect, but also confidence that he could match one of the sport's most feared names. This turning point has shifted the dynamics of their rivalry and set the tone for what's
but they've known each other. These two have known each other for a while. Does Lamont Roach just understand a way to beat or frustrate Tank in a way that others don't? You know what I mean? Like, has he just found it, so to speak? Like, I have a lot I want to find out after that because the first fight was so controversial. I think leaving it up to a draw is fine, whatever. Even though under the letter of the law, Tank probably should have lost this fight and probably would have if they counted the knockdown when he took a knee. He blamed it on Greece. Roach a real shot, even though I still would say Tank figures it out and gets it done and takes it more seriously this time.
Yeah, I think that because they're so familiar with each other, like these guys fought each other when they were kids. And then Lamont Roach comes into the ring and listen, regardless, like Lamont Roach came in there and he was confident. And I don't think a lot of people believe that he was going to be able to get it done against Tank. People thought that Tank was going to knock him out. Here's the thing, though. Tank is actually super skilled. Like, he doesn't throw a lot. When he does, he's extremely accurate, but he does have skill. And what he does is he reels.
There's more than just a win on the line in this rematch. There's pride, temptation, and legacy. Gervonta Davis remains vocal about his dissatisfaction with the draw verdict in their previous meeting. To him, it was a blemish he didn't deserve. And it's clear that the unresolved nature of the contest has only intensified his hunger. Lamont Roach, on the other hand, believes he earned that result with sheer effort and discipline, and sees the rematch as a chance to validate his impact. With both fighters coming into this bout with scores to settle, their motivations are rooted in personal stakes, promising a fierce and emotional showdown.
Lamont Roach throwing his hands fast as hell. He's in the gym preparing. I think the rematch with Roach versus Gervonta can actually be more exciting than the first one. In my opinion, I've said this many times, the actual fight itself wasn't that crazy. The crazy thing is what you've never seen before, the knee. But as far as a boxing match, it was, if you look at the copy box, they didn't throw a lot of punches. It wasn't like, it wasn't really a great fight. But as far as the fight itself, the second one can't, because I think Tank is coming for blood. He's not going to pull his punches at all. I don't think he really did the first time, but I'm not sure how well he prepared or how mentally focused he was. I think you're going to get the very best Tank in a rematch, and you may just get an even better Lamont Roach, since Lamont Roach don't have to speculate if he's good enough. He fought Tank. He has more confidence now than he did before, and he felt that he was robbed. So he's going to be on one. I think the rematch is going to be far more exciting.
Davis has always thrived under pressure, but this camp has brought a new level of focus. He's training not just to win, but to dominate. His approach has shifted toward refining his ring IQ, correcting the defensive lapses that Roach capitalized on. Previously known for his explosive power, Davis is now prioritizing timing and counter strategies to nullify Roach's agility and precision. The criticism following their first fight has fueled his intensity, pushing him to prove that he remains the king of his division. Each training session reflects his desire to remind the boxing world why he once stood untouched.
Go take the L. I've been seeing it. They said it's over. They think that this time Lamont go in more confident, knowing that basically he can, really take it to Tank. Yeah, I want him to go in there confident. He's very skilled. Go in there confident because you gonna go up against a different Tank. Like I told y'all in previous videos, he gonna go in there confident, thinking he could walk Tank down. Don't forget, with Tank, if he get you on that button, them lights going off. I don't care who you is. Remember how it ended up with Frank Martin? So yeah, don't go in there thinking that you going against like somebody that, like Ryan Garcia, somebody that's gonna fold. You going against Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think that confidence is what's going to get Lamont dropped. Because one thing I will say, with Tank, that wasn't your best fight against Lamont, bro. Confident, and you was really just, your mind was in y'all story, the lore and everything with y'all history. You ain't going there like I'm fighting a stranger. You going there like, oh, this Lamont. This from the same camp. We from the same area. But now I think that whole situation woke him up, because you got to think, Tank not used to losing. He not used to people being against him. He not used to being the one that like got to step back from the situation. That's why I think he being hushed right now, because when he come this time, it ain't no talking. And that's why I think it's scary, because we never see Tank in that mode where he don't say a word. I think this gonna be a different Tank. And what's crazy is Tank used to be like that in the beginning, like when he was with Floyd. Like, I'm talking about Tank with the fade, with the waves, bro. He ain't used to be on that showboat and stuff until he got, like, a little bit more.
Davis trains to reclaim his crown. Roach is preparing to seize it with sharp clarity. He enters the rematch with a balanced perspective, neither overconfident nor intimidated. Roach's strategy is built on learning, adaptation, and forward thinking. He has publicly acknowledged the strengths Davis brings to the ring but refuses to let them overshadow his own progress. With maturity beyond his years, Roach emphasizes discipline and patience, indicating that he's not relying on past moments of success, but on comprehensive preparation. This outlook positions him as a smarter and more dangerous version of the fighter Davis faced last.
How many rematches have you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, it's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't get me the win, and I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not gonna lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta that night. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter. Hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor.
From the moment Roach resumed camp, his training has reflected purpose and intensity. No movement is wasted, no round is casual. Every drill and sparring session has been strategically designed to fine-tune his execution. While many fighters ramp up volume, Roach has chosen precision. His team has focused on simulating Davis's rhythm, pressure, and angles so that he enters the ring prepared for every scenario. The commitment to perfection, refining footwork, improving timing, strengthening core fundamentals, shows that Roach is leaving nothing to chance. His preparations speak to a fighter not just looking to survive, but to dominate.
Lamont Roach in training camp, ready for one of the biggest rematches in 2025 against Gervonta Tank Davis, one of the biggest faces. What a man.
Keyshawn Davis is an emerging voice in boxing analysis and an accomplished fighter himself, offered a compelling take on the unfolding Davis-Roach narrative. According to Keyshawn Gervonta, Davis may be battling with internal uncertainties that go beyond physical preparation. He suggests that Davis, despite his talent and accolades, might be experiencing a mental plateau, a subtle erosion of the fire that once made him a relentless force in the ring. This isn't a question of skill, but of passion, hunger, and focus. If true, it could manifest as a decline in sharpness, timing, or urgency during crucial moments in the bout.
Like which version he shows up with, and no disrespect to Roach, but you know what I mean.
No, that is disrespectful to Roach, and like y'all fight fans gotta realize that is disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like he in there fighting another grown man that ain't going for none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you don't think Roach is gonna come with another game plan or something better or this, that, and third. So when they had a rematch, are y'all still gonna say, oh, Take's still not his full self ever since he fought whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, like Roach is a hell of a fighter. He proved he was a hell of a fighter, so he need to get that credit. He's a hell of a fighter. I don't know who's gonna win that rematch. I honestly feel like
Lamont Roach is painted as a fighter on the rise, confident, focused, and driven by purpose. Keyshawn sees him as a man with everything to gain and nothing to lose, embracing the underdog role with fierce determination. This contrast reframes the fight into more than a physical contest. It becomes a psychological battle. Will Davis rediscover the motivation that made him elite, or will Roach's momentum and mental clarity overwhelm him? Keyshawn's insight underscores the emotional and mental layers of high-level boxing, where mindset often decides the outcome as much as technique or conditioning.
well, he lost the love for the sport and he's no longer hungry anymore.
Well, that's what I was getting at.
Yet you got a guy that's just super hungry and never had no attention, now getting all his attention, and now he get around two of his attention. Is like shit, that's kind of hard to beat. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Tank is he's still a great fighter. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's 50-50. And to your point, we were saying, okay, he lost love of the sport. I don't really think Canelo got the same love he had for the sport when he was coming up.
Conversations with Roach's inner circle reveal the strategic depth behind his preparation. His father, who has been closely involved in his journey, noted that Davis entered the original matchup with calculated caution. This was not out of fear, but a tactical decision based on Roach's unpredictable style and ability to adapt mid-fight. Roach's team believes that this initial hesitation gave them a psychological advantage when they are now intent on expanding. Moreover, they hint at industry influences that push the first bout forward despite Davis's reservations. A dynamic that adds intrigue and political undercurrents to the rematch. They now aim to build on that advantage. Their strategy involves exploiting Davis's hesitation, intensifying pressure, and controlling tempo early on. Roach's team is confident that the mental groundwork laid in the first bout will pay dividends in the rematch. Furthermore, there are some suggestions of outside influence and estuary forces that may have rushed the original fight despite Davis's unease. This context adds another dimension to the upcoming bout, weaving in the politics of boxing, promotion, and decision-making. For Roach's team, this isn't just a rematch, it's a continuation of a plan they believe was already set in motion successfully.
You gonna see the difference. I mean, I believe we want to fight. Nobody can tell us different. The majority of the world believe we want to fight. So you're gonna see. Both of them gonna raise their level. Both of them gonna raise their level. Both of them. So yeah, they're gonna make for a greater fight. But
no way, neither of them are gonna knock each other out. It's gonna go the distance.
Legacy is at the forefront of Roach's mission. This isn't merely another payday or a shot at temporary fame. It's about cementing his name in boxing's lineage. A win over Gervonta Davis would elevate Roach to a new echelon, signaling the arrival of a refined and dangerous force in the division. He has spoken candidly about the importance of earning respect through action, not promotion. Every element of his preparation, his diet, his sparring partners, even his media presence has been aligned with this larger vision. Roach wants more than a win. He wants a moment that defines his career forever.
So the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch is being targeted for June 21st in Las Vegas. Now, it's good that they're running it back without wasting any time because Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. I mean, I thought he outboxed Tank the last time around. He came up a division as a gigantic 10-1 underdog, and he was the one on the front foot, landing his jab, the body shots, the combinations, throwing a lot more volume. I had it 7-5 Roach, and the no knockdown in round 9 was the reason it was a draw. If that knockdown was scored, that would have been a decision for Roach. But with all that being said, I do like Tank a lot more in the rematch. I thought he fought way too much on the back foot in the first fight, especially the first few rounds. He would land 1 or 2 punches per round, but as he started becoming the aggressor in the later rounds, he kept landing a lot more left hands and body shots. So Tank just needs to make this a dogfight, get into more exchanges, and that's where he'll land a lot more punches on Roach. When he's sitting on the back foot waiting for a counter, that's where Roach is comfortable and winning most of the rounds. So if Tank can fight the same way he did against Ryan Garcia, rounds 3 to 7, against Mario Barrios in the later rounds, or Frank Martin rounds 4 to 8, if he's the one on the front foot, then I do think he'll stop Roach in the rematch.
And that's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.